wave.
It's rolling.
And Kurt Binion, design manager. It probably won't do any good, but just to remind you guys that every year cars get better and better, and we can only hope that this will be a thing of the past and you'll see better things. So please limit your questions to the 2014 model year. Whether there's something better or not coming out, who knows, but even if there was or there wasn't, they can't talk about it. Hope you guys understand that. All right, so without further ado, take it away, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. Thank you for showing up early. Really appreciate it. I'm going to kick off the design exterior and kind of tell you what we did with this car. Believe it or not, but we opened this project up to every designer in GM. So that was 10 global studios that we were able to participate in. And believe it or not, within 2 weeks' time, we received over 300 sketches in that. So within that, doing these sketches, now we set out some preliminary goals for the guys and gals that were working on design effort. We felt there were 5 things that we really needed to address on this car. The first one was the upper. You've seen C6 Corvettes going back to 1978 have had the classic B-pillar, that's done for the rooftop construction. We felt we really needed to step back, still keep that removable roof, but come up with a new configuration for the upper. We call this a DLO, basically a daylight opening. We really felt we needed a new graphic on the side of the vehicle that was something that was recognizable from a block away. Here again, has to be new. The flying bumpers, as well as the configuration of the hatch, is very new. Also, the exposed carbon fiber, this is an option. You can get 3 tops. So here again, getting a new upper on the car was significant. I would also tell you, for the front end, we really felt we needed to move the needle on the front end. If you'll notice that the hood has this extractor molded in, and you've seen a lot of cars with hood details, things like that, but this one's really functional in that what we did, one of the first things early on was we changed the architecture of the front. We reorientated the radiator so now that it leans forward, much like our race car does, and then this vent is actually ducted to the back side. We pull about 1/3 of the air off the back of the radiator, and you think, well, that's neat, it keeps the cooling, but it does some huge things for us. One, it puts a lot more downforce in the front. 2, it lowers the coefficient of drag for the car. So here again, those were huge for the front. On a street car, you're doing all you can to get the front down the ground. It's easy to do it in the rear. But within that, here again, new architecture, new graphic front. We felt we needed to make the front a little more powerful, a little more aggressive, a little more compelling. Headlamp, all new technology, bifunctional HID projectors. This boomerang type shape here, that's your DRL. Gone are the fog lamps. These are indirect LEDs. Park lamps are up the side. This is actually an ambient light for the headlamp. But here again, state-of-the-art technology, LED lighting, wherever we can have it. Details like this, those are for pedestrian protection, in that those are lower leg contacts. They have to do with where a pedestrian might impact the hood. But anyways, those are even functional. Those are huge in establishing more downforce on the front. I would tell you the badge, significantly. Corvette, very iconic in that logo. And I would tell you, early on, one of our executives felt that we should probably carry over the C6 badge. Because he thought, if you guys can't get enough reach into this car, we shouldn't call it a next gen, let's just use the other badge. So we kind of took that as a challenge, like, no, we think we can move the needle, and we're going to want to do cross lights on the car to do that. Our third goal was new side cone, want something expressive, premium. This is a 2-piece part, painted carbon flash, and here you wanted the side cone more expressive, more rake, more drama. Fourth goal was form vocabulary. If you look at the sculpture of this car, it's unlike any other Corvette before. That was key to us. We really felt we needed a signature surface, something that was going to identify this car clearly different from other cars. The needs of this car, for the performance needs, are much more aggressive than Corvettes in the past. And then, like I said, we've got our hood extractor that's helping for cooling and lift reduction, downforce. We've got these rear quarter vents. What these are for is to cool the transmission and differential. If you can imagine, there's a duct behind the quarter panel, and here in this fascia there's a vertical heat exchanger in there, so the air is coming in and then it's being exited around the tail lamp and around the lower rear diffuser. These are very important. You think about what that heat exchanger does and what it's done in the past. Typically they're in the front of the car. There's a lot of plumbing lines, fluid that you're channeling back to the car. This is more efficient in that you're able to use a lighter weight system that's directly closer to the trans and diff. Little details like this, I would tell you, we probably spent 16 plus iterations in computational flow dynamics of just trying to manage and optimize the air going through those inlets. And you know, we've talked about, you know, the outlets and inlets are functional, and it's beyond just saying that they're functional. I would tell you that they're optimized to flow the most air possible. Now the last one, the fifth, and as it comes around, the back end of the car. You know, we do internal research groups and we talk to customers at times and that. And one of the things that we heard on the back end of the Corvette was some people really hadn't changed in years. They would tell us, well, it hasn't changed in 20 years, the tail lamps are where they are, the license plate's where it always has been. There was really no surprise to them. And that we really felt, for this being a next generation car, that we had to break some rules, we had to break some traditions and do some things that we haven't seen before. And here again, this car is about looking forward. And that, so within the tail lamp technology, these are all redirect LEDs. In other words, the LEDs are hidden, they're pointing that light down, and then it's being refracted out the back of the vehicle. The tail lamp is still a dual element Corvette signature. It's just done in what we felt is a new modern way, something that's unique, significant, and ties in with the rest of the car. Also on the back end, you'll see that we've got a larger, lower diffuser. And, you know, we spent a lot of time developing that shape down here too. But we wanted to change the graphic breakup of the back of the car as well. This is a Z51 package, so you'll notice it's got the 19 to 20-inch wheels, but it's also got a full-width rear spoiler. The downforce package, and I should say the lift reduction package, because downforce means you're minus, you're in the negative. This package right here has better air management than our current or our past ZR1. And when we did the ZR1, that had as much lift reduction as we've ever put in a Corvette, and this one is now even better than that as far as its starting point. Some smaller details, obviously our iconic flags, but having the Corvette lettering in the rear, it's no longer a bulleted detail, it's now a hard badge. Here again, we wanted for the exterior put an emphasis on having premium materials throughout, painted bezels, real chrome trim, and then here again, looking to move this car upscale. I think with that, Harlan, I could probably turn over to you for a little bit.
Yeah, that was great, Kurt. You know, Kurt's kind of modest, but I'll tell you, you know, the Corvette is really the hardest car to design because a lot of the young designers think they can just draw whatever they want, and we know we want to continue our success in Corvette racing. You know, we're American Le Mans Series Manufacturers Champions for last year, and we want to do a new race car, and a lot of the stuff that the features that Kurt went over is designed into the production car really help us build it into a better race car. You know, all the aerodynamics, and the big challenge. You know, Kurt talked about the lift reduction. They also were able to reduce the drag compared to the 6th generation previous. You know, the narrower track standard Corvette. Were able to improve the drag and the lift, so that's really a tough thing to do. So one of the things too is really exciting is, okay, this is only the 7th all-new Corvette generation in 60 years, and also bringing back Stingray. And there's no more base Corvettes. There's Corvette Stingray, and it's very exciting. It was something that we had in the back of our minds that we wanted to do. but we wanted to wait till the design was done to make sure it was worthy of being a Stingray. And not that we wanted to copy the Stingrays of the past, but we wanted to evoke it in an all-new way. So from now on, the Corvettes are all Stingrays again, which is very exciting. So let me talk a little about, we got the structure back there. All the Corvettes now have an aluminum structure, all new aluminum structure, and it basically saves about 100 pounds versus the previous steel structure, and it's 57% stiffer as well. So that helps you, that helps the whole driving feel of the car. And we've done, of course, aluminum frame in the previous Z06 and Z01s, but those were closed roof cars, so this is the first time we've done that. All the Corvette Stingrays have the removable roof panel standard, so for open air, you can remove the roof. So that is really a new structural thing like that. And the roof panel, now standard, is carbon fiber. You can get it fully painted or with the visible carbon, or you can get the transparent panel. But the nice thing about the carbon fiber panel, not only does it reduce the weight of the car high up where you want to, but when you do have the nice days in the summer, you can take the roof out. It makes it very easy to do it yourself. It's only, we took 10 pounds out of it, so it's only 16 pounds for the roof panel. It's very, very easy to use. Also, we have carbon fiber hood standard on all the cars, again saving more weight. And we have new technology called carbon nano hybrid composites. And some of the other panels in the car in the rear, it's basically ground up carbon mixed with conventional composites. So save about another 40 pounds of weight in the car through the use of materials. This car, this torch red car, a lot of people have seen this one. We also have a cyber gray show car. How many people have seen pictures of that one? Mostly red interior, the black wheels. It's a very pure sports car, very track oriented, more aggressive. And then the other car was the cyber gray car, the Kalahari, kind of a desert color interior. That car is more of a luxury GT type of theme. We wanted to be like your personal land-based jet for the street. So it's really kind of the show based on how you configure your Corvette. You can really create different personalities and different appearances to fit whatever type of sports car you want to have. Getting to the interior, this car, you can also see later on if you want, we have the interior up on its side there under the glass there. You want to get a better look. What we've done, we concentrated on all the things that you guys told us to concentrate on. So we have all new seats, new magnesium structure seats. So we have what we call a GT seat, which has improved lateral support from today's, but is still a very good seat for long trips, daily driving for most people. And then this car has what we call a competition sports seat, and it's much more aggressive for track use. Again, this is a 1G car capable of 1G lateral acceleration. So we really have a seat now that can keep up with the performance of the Corvette. So not for everybody, but that's available as well. We also did an all-new steering wheel that's unique to Corvette, a 360 millimeter steering wheel, which is the smallest wheel that we've done. It really helps the feel of the car, of the road as well. And one of the things I'm really excited about in the interior, we have two high-definition 8-inch screens, one for the cluster, one from your center information, your navigation, radio, things like that. But we have behind the shifter, and you'll be able to see that when you look at the interior, there's a knob. We call it a driver mode selector. And what that is, it's basically a graphic equalizer for the car. So it has 5 modes. It has Tour, Sport, Track, Weather, and Eco. So by turning that knob, instead of going through a lot of menus and customizing the chassis, the exhaust, the steering, different factors, actually there's 12 different factors that it controls. You can easily change that on the fly for whatever driving experience you want to have. So it even changes the gauge cluster as well, because that's all electronic. So I'll just give you an example. For driving to work, going on vacation, you might leave it in tour mode. Again, it optimizes the car a little bit more towards comfort. The exhaust is a little bit quieter. on your display. You have modern instruments. You can see, you know, what the music playing, like your album art from your iPod, or you can see your turn-by-turn navigation, things like that. Then you want to have some more fun. You go to the sport mode. Everything gets a little more aggressive. The exhaust is a little bit louder. The suspension's a little tighter. The steering's a little firmer, and it has the classic Corvette, you know, analog, traditional gauge cluster will pop up. And then we have track mode for track events. Everything again gets even more aggressive. And what we've done in the gauges is we replicated the C6R gauge cluster with the tack that's focused on the higher RPM. It has shift lights, has lap timers. We have G-force indicator, friction bubble, you know, two-dimensional G-force. There's all kinds of data that you can get on that. So we've really been able to tailor that. Of course, we have the weather mode for slippery conditions, and we even have the eco mode. And in the eco mode, just to show the technology that we have in the car, in certain conditions, it allows the V8 will act as a four-cylinder to really maximize the fuel economy. So just getting to that, we have the new engine is the LT1, you know, Generation 5 small block, and it has the active fuel management I talked about. Again, that you're in control of, though. If you know, in the other modes, it'll be V8 only. You can control if you want to take advantage of the four-cylinder mode. It also has direct injection and variable valve timing. And right now the preliminary numbers are 450 horsepower, 450 foot-pounds of torque. And I emphasize the torque because if you overlay the torque curve over the previous, the 06 LS7, you know, 7-liter, 427 engine, it's really right on top of it in torque. So you really have a lot of low-end torque, and actually it beats cars like the Ferrari 458 Italia, of course the Porsche models, and the Audi V8s, and the torque curves. We have a graph that you can see on that really shows how dramatic the car is. And we get excited about the horsepower numbers, but in your normal driving, the torque is really what makes the car, you know, exciting to drive on edge. Now, transmission-wise, we have new standard transmission. Is a 7-speed manual, and it has a feature we call active rev match. And some people are asking, hey, I see you got a manual transmission, you have paddles on the steering wheel. Why do you do that? You know, people are used to, of course, we have the automatic transmission with the paddle shift. We still have that available. But on the active rev match, what that does, you know, a lot of us, you know, we get like drive manuals, and how many people like to heel toe downshift and the track and things like that. And you know it's a skill that is something that your whole life you try to perfect. And so what this feature does is it basically automates that, upshifts and downshifts, you know, rev matches the transmission and makes you shift like a pro. And the neat thing about it, if you're learning how to drive, you know, to drive the manual better, it does it for you. It's one less thing to worry about. And even if you're very proficient at it, if you're, say, on the track the first few laps that you haven't been at, or a new road, it's just less mental workload. You know the car's going to kind of shift perfectly every time. And then, you know, the default is off, so the paddle turns that feature on and off, so you can get in and out of it very quickly if you want. You want to take over yourself, no problem. So you're in control. The thing we really want to do in this car with the driver mode selector, active rev match, was to give the driver things that make you a better driver, take you to the next level, but that you're always in control. The driver can control whether or not they want to use these features or not. This car has, Kirk mentioned, the Z51 performance package, which is going to be the ultimate performance Stingray option you can get. And like I said, it has the bigger wheels and tires. We have Michelin Pilot Super Sport, actually across the board on all Corvette Stingrays. We have Brembo brakes on all Corvette Stingrays, and on the Z51 you have the larger brakes with the scoring, the slots on the rotors, and it's a new fixed caliper design for piston. Also, with the Z51, you get a dry sump oil system with both the manual and automatic transmissions. And we have electronic limited slip differential with very high technology. Really helps the car change directions quickly, good for quick lane changes or slalom type maneuvers. Also, specific gearing for the Z51 for the manual and the automatic. And again, so The wheels, you can get silver, black, or chrome on the wheel options. And and of course you get the spoiler too in the rear on the Z51 as well. So there's a lot of ways that you can really configure this car to make it. Some people have asked me about luggage space and cargo, very similar to what we had with the C6. So the Corvette remains, although it's a very high-performance sports car, it's probably one of the best sports car for traveling. You know, a lot of people like to do long-distance trips in the car because it's fun to drive, and you also have enough room to take the things you need with you, and you have a roof panel and things like that. So I think I covered most everything. We still have magnetic selective ride control available as an option, and there's just so much to talk about with this car.
MPP exhaust, I don't know if you wanted.
Yeah, MPP exhaust, that's a good one, Kurt. We've expanded the variable exhaust. It's now controlled, the valves are now controlled electronically instead of through vacuum. And then using that driver mode selector, whichever one of the 5 modes you're in has its own exhaust program that'll tell you what to do. However, we have done an override that you can get through the center screen. There's some things that you can personalize. Those of us that like to hear it loud all the time, you just push the button and get that. And then, you know, and I talked about the different gauges too. Like if you're in, you know, if you personally like, you know, I like that racing, that track gauge cluster, even though I'm just driving to work, you can do that. You know, if you want that all the time, you can do that too. So there's a lot of, we try to make it very easy to use, but then there's a lot of things, you know, if you want to get in there and really personalize it, you can make the car, you know, whatever you want. We have a, I didn't mention a head-up display either. We have a full color head-up display now as well. So,
I can talk about a couple little Duke hair details that it kind of shows you the stuff that we get into. The wheels, for instance, you'll notice that there's Corvette lettering here in this pad down here. This pad is actually opposite of the valve stem. There's a tire pressure sensor right here. And what we're doing is we're designing in a feature here to help offset the mass of this tire pressure sensor because I don't like the way wheelbase look on the car. So we're trying to factor all that in here. As far as the rotors go, you'll notice that they're no longer cross-grilled. They're slotted now, and they're actually a curved slot. Here again, our race team tells us, if you look at their cars, this is the most efficient slot for what they use. And then also in calipers, these are the optional red calipers. You can get these in yellow. Z51 will come standard in gloss black as well. Also, behind each one of the wheels, you'll notice that there's stone guards in it. And you know, we know our customers are very sensitive to stone chips and that, so we designed in that feature to take care of things like that. Small things like an outside rearview mirror. You'd be surprised at how many hours we spend on keeping the noise down and also keeping the CD down. But the drag on these 2 mirrors is like 3% of the entire drag of the car. And the noise, I think it's under, you're like 0.4 dB, so it's about as quiet as mirrors as you can have on any car at GM right now. Did Harlan talk about the aerodynamics? Yeah, we spent a lot of time in the wind tunnel on that. We kind of quit counting the hours after 600, and that just doesn't seem to do us any good. But what we've achieved with this car is here again a .290 CD, a .120 for lift. That makes this the most aerodynamic Corvette ever. It also makes it the most aerodynamic car within GM. The Volta is very good, but this car is about 6 inches lower than a
competition sport seat. Like in these cars, it's actually a real carbon fiber piece. The things on the interior I should have mentioned too is like if you see carbon fiber or you see aluminum, it's real aluminum, real carbon fiber. This car has the carbon fiber interior option. The standard is all aluminum, so you get a lot of real materials and things like that. Do you have anything else, or should we open it for questions? Or?
Well, I was going to ask, and just one small detail. Obviously, we're real sensitive to how the license plate fits on the car. In that we show the cars without it, but I want everyone to understand that there'll actually be a license plate box that you can get that'll come with the car that'll put the license plate right into the center of the grill opening. Now, as you can imagine, no part on Corvette lives for free. Every part we do has to earn its way in the car. even so, even that same way with the license plate bracket. It's designed such a way that it reduces the drag, gives you better fuel economy, improves the downforce, and then betters the integration of having that plate.
Automatic for now. I mean, obviously we're always considering things for the future, but for right now, that's our plan. Yes. Well, how are we going to advertise the car? I mean, just, yeah, I mean, obviously that we've been doing a lot online. I mean, we did that whole 11313.com, and now we have the Corvette Stingray 2014.com on the internet. You can go there and you can see all 10 colors that we have and things like that. We will be doing, of course we have Facebook, we're doing social media. We will be you're seeing this new Chevrolet campaign, actually, the Find New Roads thing. We're going to be a big part of that going forward with TV. So yeah, we're going to really be doing a lot more with Corvette advertising because, like Kirk said, I mean, when you do a new generation of Corvette, this is really our chance to, you know, open the car up not only to the people that we know and love that love Corvettes, but it's your chance to get a new audience, either sports car enthusiasts or even people who never really thought of